Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Sleepy, your West Coast caster and game master for tonight, and we are here with Onward Master League Season 6, Week 9, and this is going to be a double header. We're going to have two back-to-back that I'm going to be bringing you. The first game we're going to have tonight is the Magnificent Bastards versus the Hand of Death, and after that we'll have Danglers versus Blaze, which is back by popular request, pretty much. So tune in, and we're going to be getting things kicked off here. I'm just getting myself kind of sorted into our lobbies here in the game. Stick with me while I do that, but also want to thank you all for tuning in because, of course, I love to see you guys here and watching these streams. It gives me a reason to actually want to cast, and it also just gives me a great feeling of the community when I get to see you guys participating. That I'm just gonna get my matcheroo right, and look at the pick bands here once I've received those from the teams. Yeah, so a night full of onward action this evening. You'll have myself casting this match and one more, but also here in about an hour, Nightfire and Buxton will be casting the G-Men Phoenix match. So look out for that one as well, as it seems like it is going to be a bit of a barn burner. Those two teams definitely going to be beating each other up back and forth as things go on throughout the night. Uh, yeah, so this should be a pretty good matchup as well. Magnificent Bastards being a team that is a bit more experienced in the league. They do have they have been around for a few seasons now. They are a very experienced team now. They've taken their lickings. They're ready to start climbing up the ladder. The Hands of Death, however, they're a newer team, but they are doing okay. It's a learning curve jumping into the league. It's not quite as easy as some folks might make it seem. Yeah, so we're hoping to see a good matchup here tonight. I'm just hoping that the Hands of Death can shake off that pretty crucial loss that they had to Boss Fight earlier in their Button Cup matchup. So give me 1 second. I'm still trying to get our map picks here. Let me see if I can't communicate that with the teams here. So just 1 second while we step away for a moment to get. Oh, okay, so while we wait, why don't we just take a look at who we've got in the lobby for each of the teams. So on the side of Magnificent Bastards, we have Zero F's Given, Logical, Todd, F and Habercorn, I believe is his original name, Poopachu, who's coming in off the reservist bench here for this match, and the Unseen Threat. Meanwhile, over on the Hands of Death side, on the Volk side, at the start of this first map, we have Mr. Jacob 07, the Urban Ghost, Xandria, Skeptical, and The Ban. We are, again, just waiting for these map bans so that I can give those to you guys, and then we'll get things rolling for you. If anybody's out there in the Twitch chat, let me know what your predictions are for this match. I always love to see what the audience thinks is about to happen, because we all know that things that are expected to happen, don't always happen here in the Onward Master League. So, yeah, I'm always looking for audience participation, if you want to call it that. But yeah, so. Right, it looks like my map bands may be rolling in now. Right, and I have gotten those map bands, so we will take a quick look at what's going to be going on. So, for the first band, we have Anchor going to be banned. They did not send me which team banned what, so we're just going to say that a team banned Tanker. So one team not feeling Tanker as much as the other, and the other ban is going to be... Oh, apologies there. And the other map we're going to be banning is going to be Quarantine. Not really expected here on the Onward Master League. It's a very popular map for most. So again, Tanker and Quarantine are our bans. Our first map is going to be, as you may have seen on the screen, is going to be Bazaar. So we'll be kicking things off with a pretty favorited map here for the Onward Master League. And I'm just going to let the teams know that they can get to it whenever they are ready. We'll start to bring you this action right away. As we can see, Bazaar, a very open map, but also very tight quartered in spots as well. You can see that very open marketplace there. You can also see this western alley as we fly by, fairly tight. Zoom up, we can see a bit of close quartersness to that. But it sounds like we're going to be kicking things off here. Our first objective is going to be on the far west, the West Red Truck, if that's what you'd like to call it. We are going to be in round number 1 of map 1 here, as Magnificent Bastards take the first attacking role. And the Magnificent feeling quite sure of themselves. They are well prepared for this match, it seems. Todd, I have to give you a shout out. I like that name. He is now Todd Wegeaton Casted, because there's 2 T's in there, Todd. Aye. But yes, you are. You're getting casted. Again, we are trying to expand the breadth. Is that a word? I don't know, but we're going with it. We're trying to increase the scope of what games we cover. We're not always looking to just cover the big barn burners at the top of the leaderboards, but we're also looking to also cover any other games from the bottom to the top, all the way up, all the way down. And I'm also been trying to get as much coverage in the Button Cup as I believe necessary, because that is a pretty crucial thing. It's been something that's been hotly debated in our community now for a few months, and you know, I feel like it deserves justice. It deserves viewership, so I'm trying to cover that as much as I can. Unfortunately, I was not able to make that. Thankfully, Nightfire was able to pick up the match for the Button Cup that I was originally going. Always good when a fellow caster can come in and save the day like that. While things are a little bit quiet, we'll go ahead and take a look at the overhead map here, kind of give our thoughts on the defense. Hands of Death with a bit of an oddball defense. Those 2 guys in the north may not be able to really do much. The guys in the south have a pretty tight watch on the defense. However, those 2 up north, if the 3 in the south get taken out, they're going to have a hard time rotating back down to the objective quickly enough, especially if there's any sort of quick cappers on the team of the Magnificent Bastards. Magnificent Bastards, a pretty good spread there, north to south. They've kind of got a little curve in it, so they're going to tighten the noose here shortly. Zero F's is going to move his way through the western alley, and I believe Xandria are going to utilize that newfound C4 that we have in this most recent 1.4 update to try and catch someone out, but unfortunately it is not going to work. Shots are going to ring out from Unseen Threat as he sees the 2 in the north, but Mr. Jacob able to take down Unseen Threat. Zero able to find Mr. Jacob. Things are getting hot and heavy in here, and I have gotten myself stuck in a wall, so excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. Now able to pick up Skeptical, and this is kind of exactly what I was talking about. The guys in the south are now starting to fall, and that's not going to be very good for them. Xandria looking out, but Urban Ghost takes down Xandria at the same time that he downs Todd. And hopefully Zero Fs is able to get to Todd's body and get the revive, but it looks like there's going to be a flank, and I ran into a wall right as it happened, but the Ban able to get a nice flank coming in from the north, taking down Zero there on the western front. Logical and Poopachu, our favorite Nokimon, still in a great position here. Urban Ghost putting some suppressive fire through the smoke that was popped by the members of the Marsoc team. And now the Ban should be looking to try and rectify his downed teammate. Here he comes now. He's going to get Xandria, but no, Logical's going to stop that. And it's now going to be a 1 or a 2v2. Maybe not. It was actually just a 1v2, and Magnificent Bastards, Poopachu taking the last frag and getting them their win. So great play there from Magnificent. And the scoreboard's looking a little bit ripe right now, so we're gonna go ahead and switch over to our scoreboard instead, and we'll talk about what's going on. So right now, as you can see, if you're just tuning in, that was round 1 of the first map. We are here on Bazaar. Again, our map bans are Tanker and Quarantine, so we won't be seeing either of those two this evening. But Magnificent Bastards getting a little bit of a check there from Hands of Death. They were actually doing able to do a pretty good job there about keeping their cool and playing it out smart against Magnificent. So I'm thinking we're going to be seeing a pretty solid map here. And thanks again to those out there in the chat. Yes, I know other matches may be or may seem more entertaining to be able to watch. But you know, we can't judge that from the matchups each week. Sure, there are some that are very obviously going to be more entertaining or more obviously entertaining than others. And we have had a recent string of blowouts this last week. However, I wouldn't say that that is the case for every game. I mean, we could see Hands of Death here really bring it to Magnificent and take things to their house. I mean, they could be really upset over losing that Button Cup game today. Magnificent could just end up having a bad night. We really just don't know. So, you know, try and keep it positive. I know sometimes you would rather watch other games, but, you know, we try and pick these at random. We try and cover teams that haven't gotten much coverage. And I don't think Magnificent has had too many people pick up their games, so I was willing to do that. And, of course, you know, we're doing a doubleheader tonight, people, so stick with me. In a couple of hours, we have Danglers versus Blaze here on this channel. Also in an hour, you've got Nightfire and Buxton covering the G-Men Phoenix game, so you've got plenty of primetime VR coverage to go with. Also, just to let everyone know, I was informed by the captain of Magnificent that they are taking a quick timeout. A little bit of a bio break was called, so they are going to be doing that. And meanwhile, I'll just hang out here with you guys and, you know, chat it up. And yes, another thing that is a little bit expected or unexpected is the reservist usage by Magnificent here on this map. As we talked about, Poopachu is here with the Magnificent Bastards, and he is on the reservist right now. He used to be a former member of Mob Squad, a terribly fantastic team that used to dominate in the U.S. region, who's stumbled a little bit, but they are on their way back up the leaderboards. They've kind of gotten their stuff together, and they pulled everything back together after the loss of a couple of their key members, and now and yeah, so they're Magnificent, unable to field 5 players, so they called out for a reservist. A reservist basically is just any old regular player who wants to play in the league but may not feel ready for a team or may not be able to commit to a team full time. So they go into our reservist pool. Reservist pool kind of works just like in the military. You know, you are called upon when the duty arises. You don't have to do 2 weekends a year or 2 weeks a year, weekend a month, that type of deal. But yeah, so again, we are on a quick bit of an intermission here as one of the teams is working out some things on their end. I believe it was the Hands of Death that did call for it, so we're currently just on a quick break. And you know, while we're on this break, for those of you who don't know, let's give you guys a little bit of an insight into what Bazaar is. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Bazaar. So great map. It's one of my personal favorites. A lot of league favorites as well. But you know what? I'm happy to say this. I do have a good friend and close personal casting buddy here, Silent Knight, who decided he wanted to come in and give me a hand here with the co-cast. Silent Knight, how you doing? Say hi to the folks out there.
So far, so good. I am unmuted now and happy to be here. So, always like going and seeing what Magnificent might do. Those guys are some fun guys to go against.
Yeah, they are. They're a fun team. They're a good group of guys. I used to see them a lot more often in the comp lobbies and such. But yeah, so they've been doing their work. They've been trying to grind it out. I think they've had a few bits of roster problems this season, but they've been able to fill it with reservists for the most part. But yeah, we're still waiting on the Hands of Death to get themselves back into the lobby and get prepped for the game.
Okay, so yeah, I'm officially in lobby now.
Here, and now we're losing more and more members as we go. I'm not sure what's happening. We could be looking at a rehost here. Maybe team members weren't able to get back into the lobby. I am getting some communication here now. Okay, yes, I have confirmed that we are rehosting due to a glitch in the lobby, so give us just a moment while we get that squared away on our end, and we will try and get you back to the action as soon as possible. Silent, how's your weekend been? I know you've been out of town this weekend, huh? So you haven't been able to come with us on our journey to the center of the casting.
Not yet, but luckily I went down to Vegas. Didn't run into El Vegas, but ended up spending about 24 hours there and then just headed back up and just got here. So it's been a good time, and I'm excited to be back and get casting.
Well, that's good. We're glad to hear from you. I'm just going to go ahead and get these sets. I will need to edit the score, as we know. Magnificent Bastards do have 1 point from the previous round. So we're going to make sure that all that information is accurate and up to date. But we will, unfortunately, due to the rehost, be looking at a new lobby, or a new objective, I'm sorry. So Hand of Death going to have it actually probably a little bit harder now that they're going to be attacking the Kiot building in the center of the main bazaar.
Well, actually, the interesting thing about this one is I actually do think and believe that this is one of the better ones to cap on. We've seen, especially danglers, become very efficient at getting in and moving in on capping this objective and moving in rather fast. It's very easy to also overwhelm the defenders. So it'll be interesting to see how the Head of Death will handle this objective.
Silent, let me just confirm. Have you made it into the new lobby?
Apparently. Yeah, everyone's here.
Okay. I just want to let the teams know so that they can start things off and we can get back into the action here.
Yeah, don't scare me like that. I'm like, everyone was just here. Like.
No. I just wanted to confirm you were in fact in here before I told the team captain or the host here that they started up whenever. And there it goes. There's the infamous 5-second counter. Going to be here in the center Kiot objective for round number 2 and map number 1. Obviously, as we talked about, there will not be a mirroring of this first objective from the first round, just simply because the match or the map did have to be rehosted due to a glitch not allowing one of the players inside. So Magnificent Bastards will have their hands full defending, and the Hand of Death will have their hands full attacking this objective. Teams are getting into position, and we're going to take a quick look at the overhead map just to kind of see how things play out early on in the round.
Here's the tough part, though. They are moving in all the way over on the east side. They're going to have 2 members of opposition here to have to go through. So far, none of them have managed to spot each other. In fact, they ran right past and missed the shots.
Yeah, Urban Ghost not able to connect with Pupachu. That would have definitely been one of the defenders that you want to connect with. Pupachu being quite the skilled player, as we mentioned earlier, used to play for Mob Squad, but unfortunately had to leave due to whatever reasons. I don't even know, personal, professional. You know, we're all grown-ups here. We all have things other to do than just be professional esports players, but at least until it starts paying the bills. But now Urban Ghost could be in danger of Logical taking him out, but I don't think Logical's got to hear this. Come on, Logical. I believe in you. And Urban Ghost just going to walk out right by Logical, and he's going to get picked up in the objective, or in the east courtyard.
The scary part is now they do know where Logical is at, and he is doing the smart thing and rotating up and around. Zandria is now going to be moving in and seeing what he might be able to do against Logical. At the same time, if he's smart here, though, if anything, he'll be running in and checking the corner pre-firing. So we'll see if he's able to do that.
Pupachu throws a precautionary frag out to try and keep the defenders, or I'm sorry, the attackers at bay here. The ban on the north side of the wall. Logical picking up another one. He's going to grab Zandria, and now it is a 5v3 here in Magnificent Bastard's favor.
The Bando's moving up and talking to the rest of his team, making sure that they are coordinated in their move up. Smart move on his part.
Flash comes out. And the band's going to be ready for it. He grabs Pupachu on the north, but he's got to be careful because there's the unseen threat, and that's exactly what he was this time. He was an unseen threat, and that threat was deadly.
Unfortunately, though, he did make the mistake of calling out that he did get one enemy down, but he did that outside of cover. If he would have taken 2 steps back, he'd still be alive now.
Yeah, it's a very good point. You have to be careful especially when you're this close to the objective and you know the defense is going to be a bit thicker. You want to make sure that you're not taking any risks by just reaching for your radio and calling out things. It's hard. It's hard sometimes because you want to relay that information to your team as fast as you can in case there is a refrag, but at the same time, you don't want to give them the ability to get the refrag just because you want to stand in the open and call out the kill.
Exactly. Logical, though, he's moving back now, and looks like might be able to get a peek on him. Traded.
Does, but Skeptical gets the refrag on Logical, but I'm sorry. No, they traded, I guess. Mr. Jacob, though, he is pushing up through the eastern courtyard now. He needs to go back and double tap Logical because that's just information that could be given to the team. Let's see if Mr. Jacob can take on this 1v3 scenario that he's gotten himself put into.
Yeah, this is not going to be easy to do. Zero, though, is getting a little bit out of position right now. Because Unseen Threat, I mean, they might be able to sneak in through and maybe try to go for a cap, but that's still very risky, especially where Todd is at right now. That's more of an uncommon spot that we're not so used to seeing.
Jacob hears the Unseen Threat moving, and he's going to see him, but he's not able to connect. Go ahead and swap that mag out for safe measures. Meanwhile, the revive is going to come out on Logical by Zero. Zero's going to pick him up. Now they're going to have him pretty much dead to rights here as they rotate up. They hear the shot. Zero's going to have a shot through the window. Oh, but he just missed him. Logical, he's going to catch him out as he exits the doorway, and Magnificent are going to pick up their second round here on map number 2.
Good job, Logical, getting what? 3 kills that game all by himself. Not too bad.
Not too bad at all. As you can see, if you're just tuning in, we're still on map number 1. There was a brief intermission as the Hand of Death needed to take one of their allotted timeouts. But now we're back and we're into going to be now round 3, but Magnificent have been able to take 2 rounds in the game so far. See how Hand of Death comes back from that now that they have defense and they should have quote-unquote Volk advantage, the defensive advantage. They don't have to push to anyone. They wait for the team to come to them. So
you do have to be a little bit careful, though. You do not want to lose this first map. 4-0. Magnificent still might be able to move in for a cap, and that's definitely a situation they want to avoid. But Hand of Death, as long as they can play this well defensively, they should be able to get their 1 point and start moving close to winning this map.
Absolutely, and we've heard our countdown beeps, but Magnificent Bastards having a bit of a technical issue. They're going to reset the round. And for those of you unfamiliar, in competitive lobbies for Onward, if a round gets reset, no point is given to either team. It just goes right back to the lobby. The objective stays the same, and they replay the rounds here once things have been straightened out.
Exactly, but you do have to be a little bit careful because you have 10 seconds after the round has finished the 15-second countdown to reset. Otherwise, you basically give the other team a free point.
That is correct, and we've seen that come to bite some teams in the behind as they have missed a window by a second or two. So, you got to make sure you're paying attention, though. That is something to point out that on the new 1.4 update, you're actually given a little icon indicator on your wristwatch that your character model has that will let you know if you are still safe to reset within the time frame and not take any penalty from it. Logical, able to get a quick pick early on. He completely takes down Xandria. He's in a good position to cover his team's approach as they push up the southeast.
Yes, exactly. And right now, that also makes Logical be 5-0 right now. Just an absolute deadly force on this new lobby.
Yeah, he has been putting in the work, and he's put his backpack on to help carry the team around. The other good thing is the shots coming out from him so early may have confused the defense. They may now think that they came from the southwest instead of, well, they did come from the southwest, so I guess I'm wrong. But now a majority of the push from Magnificent is going to be coming from the east, so those shots from Logical may have actually thrown off the defense and given them false hope or false direction as to where the enemy team might be coming from.
Yep. We'll see what happens, but right now, I mean, Pupichu's movement is going to be probably one of the most crucial, as he's going to be able to cause a really good distraction for those who are moving up behind. But we did just lose. The ban just got a kill, taking out the team captain himself, and now Todd needs to figure out where the ban is.
Yeah, did you happen to notice Todd's name, by the way?
Oh, I love it.
Have a bit of a standoff here between the band and Todd as they are not really aware of each other's position. Well, I'm not even sure the band even knows that Todd is there, but Todd knows the band is there. He just doesn't know where, so he's going to be unable to grab that frag quite yet.
Pupichu, though, is starting to move up slowly, but he's just still trying to hesitate, which is a smart move. It is pretty easy to figure out, or to try to figure out where people are at. It's very easy to get yourself killed in that.
It is, and if he pushes out too far or too fast, Mr. Jacob and Skeptical should have a good sight line on him. Oh, but the ban was able to pick up Todd. It looks like Todd went around the same direction as his fellow teammate did, and it did not work out. The ban going to have secured the northeast section of the map now.
So far, though, the Head of Death is looking fairly good at trying to secure this. The ban has put in a lot of work, and now it is a 4v3. So as long as they can keep this up, they might be able to secure their first point.
You aware of the two men going down in the northeast. He's assuming a flank, which is smart. So he's watching that eastern side, watching for a flank. But what he doesn't realize is that the ban is actually going to just hold his position. He's not going to push forward aggressively. He's going to hold what he's got, and that should keep him pretty safe. I mean, flank like that and a very aggressive flank could get you caught up, killed very quickly in this game.
I do like what Logical is doing, though. He's a little bit out in the open, but he has been using the crates as a little bit more of a distraction or a cover, and now he's throwing smokes for distraction right onto objective. Oh, nope, that was a frag. Never mind.
Even better. It's going to clear that objective directly, making sure nobody's standing right on top of it to stop any cap attempts. The way that the defense is spread out right now, the Hand of Death has one guy way far west trying to get a flank. You've got the ban in the far northeast, and Urban Ghost able to take down Unseen Threat. So the flank does work a little bit, but he's going to be way too far off. If Logical can happen to see, Skeptical, but no, Skeptical going to have line of sight on him. He's going to take him down with a nice clean headshot, and it's all going to be up to Pupachu, the reservist member for Magnificent Bastards today.
Well, you know, sometimes you have to be a little bit more skeptical than logical, and in this case, that you last a little bit longer when you're a little bit more skeptical.
Silent, I have to ask, are you using a voice changer of some kind? I feel like your voice is sounding like it's coming through like a ransom caller's phone.
Is it? Because, yeah, let me see what I can do after this round. Because my mic just went quieter like a minute ago for some reason, and I'll troubleshoot it.
No worries, if not, it's fine. We'll just call you Silent Ransom Note Maker instead of Silent Night for this evening.
So Pupachu is moving up rather quiet, though, and he's got two members of the team right next to each other. If he's able to secure both of these, that would be a very good movement in to try to get this cap.
While he attempts this, we're going to take a ride along on board his first-person cam and just see what it's like living through the eyes of Pupachu. He hears Skeptical. He knows he's here. Skeptical again tries to blow some C4, as we saw him try in round number 1, but it's not going to work. Pupachu able to get the kill. Now he's on the move towards the objective. Thankfully for Hand of Death, they have brought back their members from off on their flanks, and they now are covering the objective much better than prior. Now it's going to be a lot more difficult for him to get in here to this objective. Oh!
So close.
He's going to see him that time. Pupachu takes down another one, and he is on the move. The band checking his tablet to see who won that gunfight. Gonna see him. Pupachu's gonna hear the shots, but he's not gonna come around the corner fast enough, and the band takes down Pupachu, giving giving Hand of Death the win.
Yep, and that was a very strong round. A little bit risky on the Head of Death's part with how far they seemed to really stretch out their defense, but in the end it ended up still paying off. And what I really liked that Pupachu did, though, was he was very smart about flanking around his position. He secured one kill, which was Skeptical, and then instead of continuing to push and stay in that area, he rotated around, changed up his position, and managed to get another kill.
Yeah, he definitely played that smart. He played the shoot and move concept, which is always what you want to do, especially when you're by yourself in a situation where you know there's multiple defenders. So I'd say overall he played that about as smart as he could have, but it's only going to be a matter of time before things like that happen and you're taken out just because of you're unaware exact positioning of something. And of course, folks, don't forget, tonight we have a bit of a stacked casting lineup. Of course, you're here with me and Silent Knight casting the Hand of Death and Magnificent Bastards, and I just realized I gave them the wrong name. Not the Head of Death, they're the Hand.
Well, they just might with that name.
But yes, so we have this game going on now. Here in about 25 minutes, you'll have Nightfire and Buxton casting the G-Men Phoenix match, which should be one heck of a matchup to into. And then at 7 o'clock, or time pending, depending on when this match finishes up, I will be continuing to cast here on Onward Master League 1 of the match between Danglers and Blaze. So it should be another great matchup for the end of the night as well here on Sunday, Season 6, Week 9 of Onward Master League. Now we're into round number 4 of map number 1.
Oh man, and they gotta be careful right now. They're going up on the north wall, but there is one person who's not peeking just yet, but if he does, he'll be able to get 2 down. We already see the unseen threat taking out the ban, making it 4v5 right now for the Hands of Death.
And he did that with an iron sight on an AK. That is impressive, as in my opinion, the AK iron sights leave a little bit to be desired, in all honesty. Not really something that I tend to use, especially on that particular weapon. The AK-12 I can use the iron sights for with little to no problem at all, but man, that AKM, not really a fan of those irons.
Well, I mean, good job on that part. I'm really curious about his build then. Having 2 extra points, I'm wondering what he's using that for.
Hard to tell. Maybe he's got it used on a pistol and an attachment for that pistol, as we are on the 1.4 build, and there are now pistol attachments allowed, as well as stacking multiple attachments on your primary weapon. So unlike before where you couldn't have a suppressor and a foregrip, now you can have a suppressor, a foregrip, and a scope, but you're going to have to sacrifice some of your very valuable 8 points. Now, Silent, what is your opinion? Oh.
Ooh.
A lot of action coming out right as I'm getting ready to ask you a question.
Ask me more questions.
Urban Ghost picks up the unseen threat, and Magnificent Bastards go down 2 members. Mr. Jacob gives a nice false scream on the north, but it doesn't matter. Zero Fs is able to pick up 2, and now it's all up to Xandria here in the north.
Todd's down on objective, though. We have Logical, who's still up trying to watch objective. But right now, Xandria, yeah, he's got to be very careful about moving in right now, but the objective is mostly open.
Pupachu tries to throw a frag in from the souvenir shop, but unable to connect with Urban Ghost, who is his assumed target. And Logical is going to res Todd. That's his name.
We getting casted.
Todd, we getting casted. And it's now 4v1.5, we'll say, as Hand of Death need very, very desperately to get this revive up.
Well, and the tough part is also Zero is also moving in and flanking around, so they have to move quickly to try to get in. Xandria, though, might be able to see Todd peeking in through that window.
I believe he was not looking at it. Logical. That's weird. I would have really thought that was Pupachu getting that kill. But anyways, Logical able to pick up 1. Xandria is going to get the refrag onto Todd. And he's going to have to be careful because Zero Fs is going to be up there. And he's going to be aware of those shots and know kind of where that came from.
Exactly, and that's going to be scary also because Logical now knows where he's at, and he's in a very difficult spot to pick him off defensively. Xandria is probably just going to be dead right here.
Yeah, and here comes the push. Oh, but he's unable to connect. However, Pupachu makes a great flank and comes in and takes down Xandria, giving Magnificent Bastards a win for that round.
Yeah, I really did like what Zero did there. He had a very nice position where he could see where everyone was coming from on the north. He managed to get 2 kills. The Hands of Death were a little bit too close together. One fell, the other one fell automatically just because Zero kept shooting. But all in all, though, very impressed with how these rounds have moved in, though, so far. Logical especially, 6-1 right now.
Yeah, it has been a great game for Logical. Really a great game for Magnificent. They're playing very well. Granted, they do have a bit of a ringer from the reservists in Pupaju there. So a little bit of help for Magnificent as they pull out this quick lead in map number 1, but overall nothing too much to complain about.
No, not at all. I mean, especially right now with seeing how the teams rank up right now. I mean, we see the Hands of Death are in 21st right now, whereas Magnificent is in 15th. Hands of Death are 1-8 right now. They've only won one match. So right now, Magnificent is 3-5. So they're looking halfway decent. And you can tell in the score this is pretty much how it would go.
Yeah, I mean, but you got to give it to them. The Hand of Death being a brand new team, this is basically season 0 for them. This is their initial incubation season, so they're putting up a pretty decent fight, I'd have to say, for a team like Magnificent, who's been in the ranks for a couple of seasons now, 3 or 4 seasons, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I really do respect Hands of Death, and I really like what I've been seeing so far. Yes, it still does need a little bit of refining, but this team has potential, and you really, once they get some things figured out and ironed out, which comes in time, they're going to be a force to reckon with. It's just getting through those wrinkles in order to really start making yourself manifested as a team.
Absolutely, and something we don't see as much anymore, or at least I haven't noticed, that we used to see in the earlier seasons was a lot of the newer teams would come in, they'd get a few matches, they'd get beaten down pretty badly, and they would just give up. The team would dissolve, or team members would leave left and right. But now it seems like the players that are in for the long haul. We are seeing Logical, who got a kill in the north. Todd took down his teammate and unfortunately had to waste his syringe in order to get him back up, but
uh-oh, and Xandria didn't get in time. Zero is going in for the cap, and he's not checking the corner right now. Zero's going to get the cap. He's sneaking in.
Oh, wow, and this is going to be a 5-point win for Magnificent, and he got it!
Oh. Xandria feels bad about that, throwing his gun down, and I don't blame him. That's a hard lesson to learn, but now he will not make that mistake again. That is for sure. When you have that kind of memory with that, I've been there. I've done that.
I think we all have. But yeah, that was a great play by him, and a great play by the Magnificent Bastards. They're going to take the first map 5-1, and we're going to be waiting to see what the next map is. We'll head on over to the War Room while we wait on those decisions. Again, as you can see on your screens, map bans are going to be Quarantine and Tanker. Neither one of those maps will be in the rotation tonight, but we will, of course, have other maps to choose from. Speaking of other maps, we're going to find out what our next map is right about... Oh, no. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. It put me in as a player, not as a caster?
Yep, same with me. Okay.
Alright, you joined.
Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like Silent and I got volunteered to go play in the next round, so we're going to jump out and hop back into the lobby. Please bear with us. Interesting little bug that has been popping up in the 1.4 casting. Nightfire had that issue last night, so we had to do this. Had to do this once or twice, but it'll be all right. And get back in here as quickly as possible, and then get things back.
I mean, don't get me wrong. As much as I want to play with Magnificent, I'm not right now. Maybe next week, but we'll be getting this squared away for y'all.
So, right, and it looks like the next map we're gonna see is gonna be Suburbia. So, you ready?
No problem. So yeah, I mean, this is going to be fun. A lot different of a map right here. A lot more. You can get some long-range shots, some close-range shots. You can't fire through houses, though.
Oh, you can't. But I think I'd be happy if I had a bulletproof house.
Oh, you and me both. That is my next investment for sure. But one thing I am looking forward to is they actually did just lift all the banned spots on Suburbia. So now you can basically walk around anywhere, stand on flower pots, go up slides, all that jazz, and you're good to go. So will we see any of that?
Knows. But the slide, that is one that I'm interested to see if it will come back or not. It is previously not allowed because, so you actually will fly on over here to the slide. For those of you who don't know, this slide right here in the playground used to be a banned spot simply because if you would run up the slide portion, your body would actually stay on the ground, on the grass. Meanwhile, your head was up, you know, in the position as if you were standing there. So that spot was banned for a while as the colliders weren't quite working as appropriately, and it was seen as kind of a cheaty spot. Now, though, that spot as well as a few others are now back in. But enough of that talk. We're here into the next round. We have round number 1 of map number 2 here on Onward Master League 1 as we see the Hands of Death and Magnificent Bastards fighting it out to see who's going to take the series here on map 2.
Now, keep in mind also, this is the Hands of Death's map pick, so let's see if they can manage to turn it around here and take this map.
Smoke coming out pretty quickly from Urban Ghost. That's going to be a nice block to the sight line of Logical. My question is, will either of them utilize the ability to re-throw the smokes and get them out of there? Poopachu pops a frag. When he's able to get one with a nice flash to the center, he's going to get a bit more aggressive. Also, another member of Hands of Death already down. Poopachu grabs another. This is just the Poopachu show right now. He is really showing off here for the Magnificent Bastards as a reservist.
Yeah, he was very smart with how he did that, though. He threw a flash in and then flanked around, and it managed to pay off. And his reflexes on that second kill were very well done. And he picks up a third one right there. And he's got to be careful. Unseen Threat doesn't seem to be picking him off. He recognizes that is Poopachu moving through. And now he's in a very strong position. 1 left.
That's true. 1 left, and all 5 members of Magnificent Bastards still to go. Xandria should be able to take down Logical here. If Logical's not more careful about his yeah. If he's just not more careful, how about we just say that?
Frag.
Dropped a frag. Throws it, and again, it doesn't work.
Blew himself up, wasn't able to throw it around the corner. He tried twice, but unfortunately, too soon, too late.
That'll give Magnificent Bastards the first point on the map. Not exactly sure what happened there. I mean, obviously a grenade that did not fly as it was supposed to. But I also could have sworn that if there was a suicide by grenade or by any other type of suicide, but oh, no, never mind, I'm sorry. That is for Volk, and he was on Marsoc, so good catch.
So, if it was Volk, yep, they would have been rewarded 2 points, but not yet. We have seen that happen once, and only once.
Yes, and I believe it happened in your match in Animal House versus, who was that?
Oh, who was it? I know it was my match.
Sinister Pride or
yes,
Burning Chrome, maybe?
It was Burning Chrome, that's it.
There we go. But yeah, so we have seen it happen at least once since the implementation, but not very much otherwise. Also, while we're in between the rounds here, I figured I'd show a little bit of the footage that we have from Suburbia here to give people who are maybe outsiders to the Onward Master League a little peek into what Suburbia has in store.
Short, sweet, easy to remember.
Back into our gameplay here, it's going to be the same objective, of course. Objectives do get mirrored here in the competitive lobbies of Onward Master League and the Onward the Game. And now, more recently, they have added something to ensure that we do not see repeat objectives within the same map, which is always nice, because during 1.3 and up through OC5, we were seeing quite a lot of objectives just repeated. You know, you'd see 2 of the same objectives, maybe 2 of the tank or 2 of the burning porch or what have you, but now hopefully that's not going to be any issue, and we shouldn't see any more repeat objectives.
Yeah, and I really like what Xandria did, camera 2, and putting up a C4 on the corner, so if he hears anyone over there, he's just going to be able to blow it up now while being able to now cover lane 3. It looks like he might be able to use that on Logical. Zero, though, getting kills on the ban.
But Xandria, he's going to grab Todd on the front porch, and that's a nice pick for him. Meanwhile, Logical's coming up, and Xandria's not going to hear it. He's not going to get a chance to blow that C4. Oh, my goodness.
Somehow.
Mr. Jacob, though, was able to grab the refrag from the back Volk spawn house on the second floor there. He was able to take Logical down. Thankfully, either that or he shot the C4. I'm not really sure which, but it did work out for him, and it's now 3v3. Hands of Death putting up a pretty solid defense here, but they're going to need to be very, very careful, because if Zero can get his way up to the tank here on the backside, it's going to be another cap, and Magnificent's going to go up 3-0.
Yep, they got really good smokes on the objective. They're going to be able to sneak in right now. Mr. Jacob, though, is sneaking in to check it and taking out Zero.
Ooh.
Good move on his part.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the clutchest of moves there. Lupichu going to fire off on that burning building. And Mr. Jacob going to be able to take him down. Very nice job there from Hands of Death. They grabbed themselves a point here on the map.
That was a very good map read from Mr. Jacobs. Just being able to recognize that, you know, hey, with all the smoke out, odds are they're moving in to take the objective. I'm going to go check that out, and he managed to get 2 kills from it and taking the round.
Yes, he did. And that was a great play. That was almost a cap, so kudos to that again. Jacob for his clutch rotation, which stopped the cap and stopped Magnificent Bastards from rolling on with this momentum that they've been carrying.
We'll have to see on what they can do next, especially as it turns into Red R objective. This is one of the tougher ones to cap just because it is kind of just so out in the open. You don't see a lot of caps on this one at all, and it's a very hard one to break down for the offense.
Thanks again to everybody for tuning in to us. I know it's going to be a long night full of matches to watch and pay attention to, but thank you guys for tuning in to this one as we see the Hands of Death versus Magnificent Bastards. Here in about 7 minutes, you'll be seeing G-Men versus Phoenix over on Onward Master League 2, brought to you by Nightfire with 2 E's and the bad boy Buxton himself, the British velvet voice of Onward, if you will. And then back here at about 7, or hopefully thereabouts, depending on when this match ends, we'll be bringing you Danglers versus Blaze. But that will take some time, as that match is going to be back on the old play, or the old build of 1.3. So there will be a brief intermission here on this channel in order for me to get squared away on that. Meanwhile, early action going in. Zero F's being able to take down Xandria. Xandria able to take down Poopachu. And then a nice frag from the ban from Zero able to take down the ban there. Down, but he's...
Here, Mr. Jacobs, and gets a 3rd kill. He's got to watch out for Skeptical, though, in the car porch.
I think Skeptical is going to be focused on maybe trying to revive his teammate, the ban, over there, because they're going to need all the bodies they can get as they're going up a 4-man defense still from the Magnificent Bastards. Sorry about that, folks. I missed the overlay there by a few seconds, but don't worry. It was only a minute of the round. There's still things going on, but a little bit of action has been missed.
Like a beautiful grenade throw. Zero's going to be personally messaging you about that now. And just like that, Skeptical's now the last man standing, and Zero should be able to hear him momentarily and maybe secure this final kill.
Skeptical may be moving quietly enough. Now I think he may be out of range at the speed of crouch that he's going. I don't think it's going to matter too awful much. But I would...
The sound of the smoke helped.
Yeah, the sound of the smoke is definitely going to be helping to mask those sounds for him. Zero F's, as he's going to be unable to really hear much over that smoke, but not going to matter. Skeptical decides last minute to rotate to grab his teammate, the Ban, but it is not going to work out, and Zero is going to help take the round again. And Magnificent's going to go up 2-1 here on Suburbia.
Yep, the nice part about that was, yes, it was a little bit risky for Zero to move up like that, but it is one of the more unique spots. You don't see as many people playing it, and so you don't assume that there is going to be someone there. And he managed to play that off very well, getting 3 kills total, 1 even being a frag.
Yeah, that's right. Been an interesting game thus far. Magnificent is playing quite magnificently, actually. But the Hands of Death aren't playing into it too easy. I mean, you got to remember out there, viewers, that the Hands of Death are a brand new team, and they are facing, currently tonight, they are facing a team that has been around for quite some time. And while Magnificent Bastards aren't at the top of the leaderboards by any means, you know, they've got their place pretty tight. So at least, you know, they know what they're doing on their end. Whether or not it's going to have the same effect on someone, say, Global Chem or SMC or Beginners or something like that is, you know, irrelevant. But against the Hands of Death, against the newer team, Magnificent's going to have a little bit better cohesion than the Hands of Death. But it seems that they're getting things together, and, you know, maybe in a season, maybe 2, we'll start to see the Hands of Death really climbing the leaderboards.
Yeah, they're definitely going to get there. The hardest part is, especially when you first start out and you're still finding yourself as a team, it can get very discouraging. Just stick together, keep working through it, keep that practice up, the scrims, everything like that. The skill will come.
Yes, yeah, as we talked about in the last map, new teams need to try and make sure to not get discouraged, because that is a big morale killer when you get discouraged by the big losses. Luckily, though, you know, now we have a lot more casting coverage, so you're going to be able to kind of go back and re-watch your rounds in order to see what went wrong and what that team maybe did right, and that you can maybe either utilize for yourself or even just check for in the future.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I remember when I was on Abusement Park, one of my very first teams, we lost. We didn't win our first map. Or our first match, I mean, for the first 3 months that we played as a team. And that was so discouraging. But then we finally started winning. And that was amazing.
A lot of early smokes are going to be coming out from Magnificent Bastards as we get rolling here into round 4 of map 2.
Now, it makes you wonder, are they just going to smoke it like crazy and try to crawl up and go for a cap?
To be honest, with the coverage that the defense is putting up, a couple of more smokes here on this objective, and that's exactly what they could have done, because nobody really would have been able to see too much. Mr. Jacob, though, proving he can see something because he picks up Logical. Now he's got 0 Fs. And Todd, but it's not going to matter because he runs out of ammo.
And now we got 2 people in the backyards running up and around. He getting casted in 0.
Mr. Jacob going to be taken down after his quick firefight with the unseen threat. Xandria going to grab Todd, though, in the back street. But it may not matter, as the smokes could come out, and we could see Magnificent push in and get a cap here.
Oh,
Urban Ghost.
Crossing the street.
Yes, he does. I think that smoke able to lend him just a little bit of coverage, but it doesn't matter. The unseen threat going to grab Skeptical, who I believe was sitting there behind the black car. Yes, it was. And Urban Ghost now going to take the position up on the porch. Xandria going to rotate to where the last member of Hands of Death was taken out, and now it's all going to be on Urban Ghost here to defend the objective.
Well, that's the scary part also. Zero now knows where the last person's at for sure. If he's smart, he'll be able to sneak on in and go for the cap right now. Because there weren't any immediate trades, so they should know that he is the last one standing, but it looks like they're still checking just in case.
Urban going to choose to fire off some shots at Urban Ghost or Unseen Threat, and it's unfortunately not going to pay out for him, as he will be taken down and give Magnificent Bastards their next point here on Suburbia.
So far, though, Magnificent have been playing extremely well. And I've really liked their movement and their coordination together. That's a huge statement to make right there, on how they've been able to play like that. It's so hard to coordinate 5 people to move together according to a plan. That is for sure. But that's one of the most satisfying things, when you can get together with your team and you can be like, hey guys, I have this play, let's work this out. And when you're able to pull it off during a league match, there are very few things that feel better. That's for sure. All right, Hands of Death might be in a little bit of trouble right now, though. Magnificent, if they win this round, they take the match, and so Hands of Death really need to work on trying to get as many points as possible and taking this match.
That's very true. They are on a make-it-or-break-it point right here, and it's tough to have to do that on Marsoc, but they're going to give it their go, and we'll see if they can pull out the point that they need to stay alive in this series and in this map here on Suburbia. We move on into round number 5 and map number 1 or 2. Map number 12. You know what? We're just going to give it random numbers now.
More smokes coming out, and I mean, smokes are so vital in this game. Just what they can do. They are smoking it like no other. They got to be careful about crossing the street, though. They have Poopachu right there, and he's utilizing the smoke to hide in it.
And a nice flash came out from him. He actually stopped the band dead in his tracks. Poopachu got to rotate. I'm not sure if he's going to see any of these guys. Urban Ghost does see Poopachu, and he grabs him. I was a little confused at first at why the Hands of Death utilized all of their smoke utility right away, but it seems like it's paying off. Meanwhile, in the back, we see, who is this?
Zero.
Zero F's going to come around on a really dangerous, aggressive push. He's going to catch Skeptical out, and he's going to start to deteriorate the guys of Hands of Death from behind. Also, Todd able to pick up Xandria with a beautiful headshot across the map.
Now, the 3 in the backyard, though, they got to be very careful, but they might be able to pull this off, but they have to recognize that Zero's coming in from behind. Ooh, and just like that, trades. Hands of Death all by himself with Mr. Jacobs again. No idea Zero's behind.
Yes, he has absolutely no idea, and the coverage from Magnificent has just been magnificent as well, because they were able to stop 3 members of Hands of Death there. Oh, here we go. We've got... Oh, and Mr. Jacob with a great penetration shot. He's able to take down Zero F's, and that's going to stop the wraparound flank, and it's now just going to be him and Unseen Threat on the objective. So Hands of Death could be seeing their second point in this map.
You got to be very careful, though. It's a 1v1, and they know where Mr. Jacob's at. And so this is for the match right now. No pressure, but we'll see what happens.
Fresh, no press. However, Unseen Threat does have a little bit less pressure on him, as they've already won their first map, so they could technically afford to give this one to the Hands of Death. But we know that that is not the way any Onward player thinks of these matches. Every map must be a win. Every point must be theirs. Victory is absolute. Losing is everything.
Got plenty of time, though.
Does 3 minutes 14 seconds. 6 minutes goes a long way here on Suburbia. Now, as you may know, the initial 1.4 release in the competitive lobbies had actually shortened the time on some of these smaller maps, and I believe Suburbia was 4 minutes, if I'm not mistaken.
4 minutes. Correct. Cargo and Suburbia were 4 minutes.
After a little bit of backlash from the community, they've decided to take that out for now and return everything to 6 minutes until they get a better feel for what the community might want. And Mr. Jacob finds Unseen Threat, and he gives Hands of Death their second point here on Suburbia and stay alive in the series for one more round.
Now that is definitely one worth celebrating. And good job, Mr. Jacob. That moves him up to being 7-3 right now for his kill-to-death ratio. Not bad at all. Now Zero at the same time is at 7-2. These guys are just dominating on this map.
Yeah, both doing very well. But if you look at Magnificent, they have spread the kills quite well, actually. Looks like Zero has stolen a few of Todd's kills, as Todd's only bringing in 2 to the party. But everyone else showing up 4-3, 4-2, 4-3. Of course, Zero with 7-2, and Todd with 2-4. Meanwhile, on the Hands of Death, it looks like Mr. Jacob actually doing all the work right now. He's picked up 7 for himself. Urban Ghost and Skeptical have grabbed 1, and Xandria and the Ban have grabbed 2 for themselves. So a little bit of work needed, maybe a little bit more coordination or just ability to grab the refrags, just be watching those angles would help. But, it's a new team and there's still some hurdles, still some wrinkles to iron out, as Silent Knight was saying.
Yep, and I'm excited to see how this match goes. I'm going to go grab some lemonade, though, real quick. I'll be right back.
Ah, the beauties of being a co-caster.
I'm using it to my full advantage this time around.
It's all good, buddy. And Mr. Jacob, I'm not 100% on who the captain of Hands of Death is, but if it's Mr. Jacob, I think he's doing a pretty fantastic job. He's trying to give his team some directive here, and a nice long-range smoke comes out. Zero, though, he's able to take down Skeptical, but Skeptical's still up, so he should be calling out the push. Skeptical gets double tapped. Oh, and Pupachu with a bad grenade kills Todd. And now things are even back up as the Hands of Death and Magnificent Bastard, sorry for the tree there, have tied it back up 4-4 here in what could be the map round. A flash comes out from the Ban. It may have not been effective. However, he's in a good position. He's smoked out, though. He needs to find that smoke. Get rid of it, and here comes the frag from Pupachu. Something gets thrown away. I'm not sure. Oh, but the frag comes in, and the Ban is down, and the objective is partially open. I can't even see anything. There's so much smoke on this map. Xandria sitting on the front porch here of this house. It's kind of a common position, and he is able to see through the smoke. But another smoke is going to come down, and no, Urban Ghost's going to take down Xandria on his porch defensive position, and he's going to compromise the defensive ability of this team. Unseen Threat and Urban Ghost are going to trade, and Pupachu going to pick up the last kill on Urban Ghost. It's now all up to Pupachu, the reservist member or Magnificent Bastards, to be able to come in and get this cap. It is going to be quite difficult, though, as the band is on the objective and can relay that information to Mr. Jacob 07. Going to do a little bit of team looting here. Going to be popping smokes from various locations. It's going to draw the attention of Mr. Jacob away from the objective. Just tell me which way you're going, left or right, Pupachu. Come on now. Going to actually work his way around to the opposite side of the map, so Mr. Jacob going to have a tough time on his hands. He now has no idea where Mr. Pupachu is. Mr. Pupachu. But he's going to see Mr. Jacob, and that's going to be it. Magnificent Bastards are going to take the last round, and they're going to go ahead and clinch the series for themselves here as we go on to the third map for points in MMR spreads.
Not bad at all. Wow, that was... Wow. That was kind of quick, too. That was probably, what, our fastest round for this map.
Yeah, definitely a very quick one. Some things happened early on. A nice frag came out pretty early. And then a lot of trades going on back and forth. So, yeah, overall, it was a really action-packed round and quick one to boot. So.
Uh-oh. Here we go again.
Give us just a minute, folks, as we have been returned to the player pool again. Whatever reason. Don't worry, I will let Mr. Jamathy know about that. I actually load myself hobby. Hope we get back in there before they realize that we're not there and they start without us, but either way we can
don't worry,
find what's going on. Oh, you are?
Alright guys, yep, I'm in right now. We're waiting for Zero and then we'll be good to go. Or sorry. You know, our other caster, Sleepy.
All right, and while I get loaded into the lobby, why don't I go ahead and show you guys what Downfall is all about. That will be our last and final map by Magnificent Bastards.
Alright, it does look like we did have one person drop currently.
Alright, that gives us just a little bit more time to discuss this map, and we'll all just get set up on our end, so I'm not hating by any means. And of course, for those of you at home, as I just said, we are going to see Downfall as map number 3. So yeah, it looks like that's going to be a magnificent choice, and we'll get things rolling for you here in just a moment. While we're here waiting on the player to rejoin the lobby, Nightfire, I'm going to use this time to go grab a quick break. So if things get rolling, just try and give the fans a good play-by-play. I'll be right back.
Okay. But Nightfire? You all heard it. You all heard it. Anyway, guys, also, if you are looking to tune in right now, we got over on the other channel, Onward Master League 2, which if you haven't given it a follow yet, please feel free to, because sometimes, like tonight, we do have multiple games going. And over there now we have Phoenix versus G-Men, and that is going to be an absolute blast of a match, and we're going to see what ends up happening. It's going to be a close one, though, although I do think G-Men are going to win it overall. Ever since Phoenix have lost, too old to game, they've been having a little bit of a come-together moment, and they're going to have to work out a few more kinks, and then they'll be back at full power like they have been in the past. So, tune into that match. G-Men are looking incredibly good this season. We'll see what happens. It's on Onward Master League 2 right now.
Yeah, and they should be just about getting started with that, actually. It's supposedly at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard.
Yep, they just started round 1.
Nice, so that'll give you guys something to watch until another great game, Danglers versus Blaze, starts at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and so we've got a night chock full of Onward action for you guys.
Makes me all giddy. Just know there's so much Onward to watch. It's actually really exciting. I'm loving this. I love this so much, and I use it. I base a lot of my strats that I come up with for my team on the things I see during these casts. It really makes a big difference for me and my team.
Yeah, I can definitely see why you would say that. I can't say that I've actually used anything that I've seen necessarily to improve my team, but I have used what I've seen in order to tell my team, like, hey, this is something that's been working for them, or this is something that, we might need to watch out for in general as people watch the cast. Because, of course, not only are we able to pick up things, but any of our viewers in the audience are able to pick up any of these strats and techniques or positions that a certain player or team might use that we might have not otherwise not known. And what I think is so great about it is that sometimes it's the newest of players that will give us some of the most interesting positions to try. Like Verds, obviously he's not a new player necessarily, but he is newer in the terms of some of the more veteran players, and he's given us some really good ideas as far as good defensive position, especially here on Downfall.
Well, and what was that last one that we did? We did the Great Apes, and what was the other team?
Was that Hand of Death? Because I want to say maybe it was the Great Apes Hand of Death match.
Because there was one spot they found on Karga that I had never thought of, and I was like, that's actually really awesome, and I'm going to start considering that spot as a viable spot.
Absolutely, and as we start off the first round, Logical's already been able to pick off one Xandria. He's going to grab 0 as he pushes towards the West Red truck, and things are going pretty quickly here for a Downfall round.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, they're moving in and they are moving around. At least they got the trade. You at least want to trade, but they have to be careful. Ooh, and Xandria making Tug regret that. But on the plus side, they getting casted.
Yes, just
So
keep
Todd,
reminding
everyone
him.
just saw that. Oh man.
But Todd, when you get casted, you got to stay alive so we can keep your name in the cast, not on the kill feed.
For sure.
End of Death, though, showing us a great bit of defense here. We can take a look at the overhead map. They've basically enclosed the objective in a kind of forward operating defense. I wouldn't say too forward because they are all within reach of the objective if a cap attempt was to be made, but they have definitely kind of shut off the points of ingress into this objective with their defensive rotation.
They got to be careful, though. They do have one who is pretty far away from objective. And so if too many happen to get picked off on the Hands of Death, there is a very good moment for a cap.
Yeah, the guy down there in the south would find it pretty tough to get himself back to the objective, but the way the rest of their defense is set, unless they play, pretty poorly and they don't land their shots that they need, I think they've got this one pretty well wrapped up, and we might actually see Hands of Death be able to ride the Volk advantage to a map victory here.
Yeah, and that'd be absolutely crucial for them right now, and something they do need, and that would, cushion the MMR throw. Beautiful shot by Xandria. That is what?
That's 3 for him.
Yeah, dang, good job. Skeptical, I really like Skeptical's position right now also. That is a tough one to spot.
One on the helicopter, yeah, that's
Oh, yeah.
great spot. I feel like they should put Volk in white uniforms for this map. That helicopter with the black Volk camo is just a nuisance, man.
It's true, but it's so fun. You also got to be careful when you're in shade because the Marsoc might look like they're Volk members.
That's very true.
You get team kills.
Yeah, we saw that happen with Honey Half as he subbed in for a team yesterday. He killed one of the members of the G-Men, I believe. Oh, and the Unseen Threat with a nice shot from his Mark 13. He's going to take down Xandria, but Xandria's still going to be alive, so he'll still be able to feed that crucial intel to his teammates.
2 minutes, 30 seconds.
While Poopachu has made a great bit of progression on the south. He was able to get a pick there just prior, and I believe he was able to take down the gentleman that was at the dumpster building. Yes, he was. So now one of the members of Hands of Death has started watching south, which is very smart, of course. And the two players still pretty far off, only have 2 minutes left to get themselves to the objective.
Yeah, being stuck all the way up at that North Hotel way up there, you got to be very careful because now that you're going to start running down this hill, it's very easy to be picked off. Although I do not think Skeptical... Nope, Skeptical's peeking now. Bye, you're dead. Unseen Threat was seen and is now dead. And they got to be careful though. Poopachu's pushing up now at the dumpster building.
Yes, he is. He has made good progress. He was able to take one down from there. However, he's got 1:39 left. He's got no help available to him on the map. So it's going to be just him as he tries to push his way through 2 more members of Hands of Death, or at least one. If he can get Mr. Jacob, he might actually be able to utilize a very particular route. Able to use a very pretty particular route to get himself to the objective without being seen, but it doesn't matter. Skeptical going to see Poopachu, and he's going to get the Hands of Death, their first point on the first round of this map.
Not bad at all. Very nice play. Very tight defense. Xandria, I mean, MVP for that round, taking out 3.
Yes. Yeah, he was definitely on fire there. He is a good shot at the long range, so I'm thinking they need to utilize these long range maps more and let Xandria do his job. Skeptical, though, also with a couple of great kills there. He was 2-0. And the members of Magnificent Bastards able to pull off 1 apiece for the top 3. The bottom 2 unable to grab a kill, unfortunately. But there's still a lot of time left in this game, and hopefully they'll be able to pull that back here on this defensive round. But now is going to be the true test. Does Hands of Death have what it takes to take a Marsoc round here on Downfall? Probably one of the toughest maps to get a cap or to get a win on as Marsoc.
Yeah, but so far they already have a pretty good foundation on, and they've been able to prove that, hey, we can handle the further shots. So I don't see why not. It all depends on how Magnificent decides to move, and if they want to start peeking out or wait for them to get closer. That's really a good question to have here.
Right, and the round is underway. Again, round 2, map 3 on Downfall, and defenders are getting themselves into positions as the attackers make a hard push down the eastern flank. I tested this map so little I have... Yeah, that tells you how much Downfall is played here in the league. I mean, it's still a good map. I do enjoy my time on Downfall typically, but overall it is one that a lot of teams don't like, particularly because they feel that pressure, that real pressure of being on Marsoc in this map and how difficult it is unless you have just an absolutely ludicrous defense to go up against.
Zero, though. He's about to have some action going on. All 5 members are right here.
Yeah, but it looks like Mr. Jacob might have seen Zero. Oh, he looks away at just the wrong second, and Zero's able to get a nice headshot on Mr. Jacob.
Is he going to spot the one at the tank, though? Nope. He down.
Not Skeptical able to take down Zero there, and that clears up the southern push a little bit for the Hands of Death.
But that's still going to be a call for his team. But right now, he only knows and was able to tell his team that he knows one other is over here, not 4.
That's right, but I would think that most of the members of Magnificent would know by not having seen anyone in the north just yet that there's more than likely no one else over there. So if I were them, I'd keep one man kind of watching the north and focus the other 3 between the south and the east. Andrea gonna take some shots, and I believe Mr. Jacob gonna call out. Or, I'm sorry, no, and one of the other members of the Hands of Death are going to call out that he just gave away their position. And yes, he's right, but eventually you're going to have to take those shots anyways, so...
Yeah, Xandria did make a smart move there, shooting those shots when he did. The problem was, though, they unfortunately did not connect, and now Logical took out Xandria with a little bit of sniper action.
And a great shot from him. He was at the 2-story helicopter building's basement window that faces south, and... just as Xandria popped around that corner and kind of was taking a look, scanning the area, Logical comes in with a gorgeous headshot from long range to get the kill.
They have a little bit of choices to make here. I mean, right now they're only down by 1 player.
Threat's going to pop shots at Urban Ghost. He's now going to call him out as moving over to the southwest church. How is Urban Ghost going to be able to counter this and get himself out of this kind of hairy predicament? Todd's going to rush out like a madman and get taken down by the ban. Urban Ghost, getting lucky that there was a rock there for him to use. The smoke kind of giving away his path. Some nice movement there. Him and the Unseen Threat are going to duke it out, but Logical's going to come in instead and get him from the 2-story helicopter on the top floor.
Bambo's moving in now. He's got to be careful, though. Logical's taking 2 out that way. Poopachu peeking the roof, and so long to the ban.
And now it all lies on the shoulders of Skeptical, and to say I'm skeptical is a little bit of an understatement, but he was able to get a nice headshot and take off the Unseen Threat on the roof. Poopachu's now going to be forced to kind of move his way back down. Oh, maybe not. I see what he's doing. He's going to take the other side 2nd story so that way he can see kind of the West Street approach to the objective. Skeptical, he's by himself. He's got 1:45 left. He's going to have to move here.
Not a lot of time at all, and I don't think Skeptical knows how much time is left.
Yeah, it's definitely something you've got to be more cautious of, and especially on a map like Downfall. He did pull his tablet. He's not too happy with the look of that as a few expletives come out. We really do need to start that Onward curse jar. Every time we catch a curse word on a cast, we put $1 in the jar, and then, hell, we could probably send the whole community to OC6 next year at this rate, because Skeptical letting out quite a few expletives as he moves his way and realizes he's the last member with a minute left on the clock here for Hands of Death on the attack.
Still a really good smoke thrown.
Absolutely. The stress not impacting his play. A great smoke to block the eyes of Poopachu, and even logical if he were to have the correct angle. Fortunately for him, though, no one is going to be able to see him, really. Just feel like he's going to end up wasting too much time just bounding from cover to cover at this point. You just need to kind of bounce in and do a quick peek for your top spots and then keep it moving. You got 30 seconds left, and I don't even think you can make it to that objective with 30 seconds left if you were to run straight at it.
No, not really. It would have to be a very out-in-the-open type run, but yeah, no.
I'm saying, I don't even think if he ran directly through the open he could get there. I think he would have, he basically has to get both kills. While it comes close to picking up logical, he's not going to get it. He's got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 second. And Magnificent Bastard's going to get their first point to the hands of time.
Dang, I mean, close call right there, but yeah, unfortunately, they have lost that round, making it 1-1.
A lot of our viewership may have popped on over that Blaze versus Phoenix. That has quieted down quite a bit. But I guess,
not gonna lie, I did too. But
to be fair, this series has already been decided. We already know that Magnificent Bastards will take the series, so this is just for points. So I can understand why some of the viewers would have tuned out and gone to another game, which is just kicking off. No harm, no foul. But Silent, how is the game going? Can we get an update on the scores while we wait on this next round?
Currently, right now, it is 2-0. Phoenix are actually leading so far on Bazaar.
Wow, a bit unexpected. G-Men pretty strong on Bazaar, but Phoenix really coming out of the woodwork here lately and giving a hell of a show.
Yeah, I've been really impressed by how Phoenix have done so far, especially watching how they play. I didn't expect it because I really thought one of their key players was too old. But no, they're handling everything really well, even with him gone.
Yeah, well, they do have Squigookin, if I remember correctly, and that was a great pickup by them, so that will definitely help. But yeah, for those who are also considering another great game, we've got one here, and we're on round number 3 of map number 3 here on Downfall. And Magnificent, or the Hands of Death, able to put up a nice strong defense early on, but it may not be the case here as Magnificent Bastards able to get the quick spawn, and they have already pushed their way up to the center hotel.
Yeah, and having 3 up there, that's absolutely huge. Mr. Jacob has to be careful about the peek, though. If he peeks around the corner, Logical might get him again, and 1 is already down. Poopachu with a sharp shot.
Yeah, he shot through the windows from the 2nd story of the hotel. He's going to grab another one. That's going to be 2 for him, and this defense is going to be crumbling quite quickly, though Skeptical able to take down Logical in that exchange as well.
I mean, right now, Magnificent are making a very good move right now to take a round on Marsoc, and this is exactly that. I mean, once you start having people drop off like that, you really want to stop peeking like this. You want them to get closer to you and get more out in the open. But unfortunately, they've lost a few too many, and now it's 2v4.
Yeah, Poopachu just going on a tear here. He's picked up all 3 of these kills so far. And honestly, the last one was the fault of Urban Ghost as he pushed out just way too quickly into that open. Zero F's going to be taken down there in a trade with Xandria. No, Skeptical, I believe. And now Todd's going for the cap, but he's going to get taken down. I said cast because it's in his name. Mr. Jacob going to be doing a great job there as a last man defender.
Well, that was such a risky play, though, for him. Smart made right there, but Todd shouldn't have ran in, at least from that direction, to try to go for cap.
Yeah, well, I mean, it wasn't so much that. I think it was just simply the fact that the smoke coverage didn't help him with the position that he was in. And that frag also not connecting, and that one a little surprising to me, is that one should have made at least some damage to Mr. Jacob, but now up to Mr. Poopachu as he goes up against Mr. Jacob, and Mr. Todd lays here hoping that he gets casted. But Todd knew right where he was. He goes up, he takes the shot, and Magnificent Bastard's able to pick up their Marsoc win, which allows them to now go in and just kind of sit back on their heels and win defensive rounds to win the map.
Oh, exactly. Very nice job right there. And now, Hands of Death will have a chance to come around and try to take this objective and try to get another point on Marsoc to get the balance out. If they're able to do that, they still have a chance of taking this map. But Magnificent really handled that last round very well.
Yes, they did. They played that one very strong, and a cap would have really been great for them. Obviously, it would have put them 1 point away from just closing out the map, closing the book, and moving on. But there was a bit of resistance from the Hands of Death, and again, overall, I gotta say that I'm quite surprised at the fight that Hands of Death has been able to put up against Magnificent Bastards here today. So kudos to them. I think you guys are going to do well in the league. You just got to stick it out and keep ironing out those wrinkles. Once you get that stuff down, you start to get that coordination, and everyone's skill slowly starts to pick up. I think you guys you'll be pushing up towards the top, just like a lot of the other mid-tier teams that we've kind of making up some serious ground in the rankings, especially.
Oh yeah, most definitely. I completely agree with that right there. It's looking good. Hands of Death, just continue doing what you're doing, keep practicing, you're getting there. And you can definitely do that. You guys have the potential.
That is completely accurate. And now we're going to roll ourselves into round number 4 here on map 3, which is Downfall, of course. If you're just tuning in a little late, obviously. Gonna have to get you set your alarm clocks for these matches, I guess. But Magnificent Bastards.
It's all the way up at North Hotel. They have a very long road to walk right there.
Yes, they do, but luckily for them, no one's gotten the picks. Poopachu should be able to catch out that guy running down the hill, but the shot's landing just behind him, and he's not going to be able to do that.
That's close. Holy wow.
Smoke is going to come out from West Red Truck and kind of block out the sight lines on the North Hotel hillside, so that's actually really smart poke placement. It's really smart smoke placement, not poke placement. But Poopachu's going to see another guy run down the hill, and he's still not going to be able to connect, unfortunately.
So far, so good. They have moved up rather well, especially somewhat out in the open. The band managing to get all the way down to North Bungalow and able to try to take out some people. Urban Ghost also taking out Logical right now. That's a big pick for them.
Fuck, one got by. He's going to fucking ice cream truck right now.
Jumped on board 0 Fs for him to drop a big old F-bomb on me. And now I do it, and Skeptical's going to do it. I just can't even... you know what? I know you guys like your POVs, your first-person point of views, but I just can't do it anymore. It's just too risky. Unseen Threat, though, going to down Mr. Jacob on his approach, and the ban has gotten himself in real close to this objective already, and they're only a minute and a half into the round.
Yep, that very south house, though, that is a very dangerous spot to be in. Again, it's another cap potential type thing. The band's got to be very careful, though. The one at the wall might be able to see him poking out, but no, the band's running right onto objective like a jolly little schoolgirl, just getting right on it. Doesn't even care. He made it right in.
Did, and he's going to check his tablet, which will have alerted 0 to his position. I'll follow him in here because I have a feeling, no, okay, he's just going to clear the area. It's a smart thing. Thought he was going to pull his tablet out thinking he could cap from underneath like you can the 2-story helicopter, but more aware than I thought.
Gotta be careful. If the band's able to work his way around, he's gonna be able to move in quietly enough to go for the cap, but Zero's gonna hear him.
Yeah, he's already heard it.
Around.
Oh, if Xandria could have just gotten that kill just a split second earlier, it would have been no problem for the band to go in there and get that cap with Todd rotating away, but unfortunately Xandria is not able to secure the kill in time. And now it is Hands of Death with 2 members, Magnificent Bastards with 3.
Exactly, and trying Poopachu getting another kill, taking out Skeptical. It is a 1-on-3 now. The tide has turned. Xandria now the last man standing. Not going to get that revive. That's not going to happen. But managing to down Todd.
Yes, he does, and that's a great pick. He's going to have to worry about Urban Unseen Threat up there in the North Hills, but he could actually play this and get in. If he's got any smokes left, he should be able to get this cap. Oh, but he's going to grab Poopachu. Now it's just a 1v1.
Tide has turned again. He can go for the cap right here.
he can. Just some well-placed smokes. He can actually block out the sight line from the Unseen Threat up on the hill. Not careful, though. He could also walk right into the sight line of Unseen. Will the Unseen Threat get his chance to take down Xandria long range? No, he won't. The shots are going to ring out a little late. Xandria will be safe inside. So I think a lesson for the Hands of Death to take away from this game is you need to double tap all your kills. I've seen it happen quite a few times in this match where they will down an enemy and not take the chance and just leave him alone, and then that enemy will be revived and utilized against him later on.
Oh man, yep. Just gotta be careful with that call out right there from Todd. Gonna be able to tell him right exactly where he's at, and I think he knows where the one on the south building is. Yeah.
I believe after that last shot that came in when he pushed, gave him all the info that he needs to know where he is. He's got a minute left. All he's got to do is kill this guy, or with the right smokes, he could go in for the cap, but I don't think that's on his agenda. I have a feeling he's gonna just go for the kills here. No, he's on the push. If he uses... Oh no, he's inside. This could be over. Xandria has gone inside. He has made it unseen. Is not going to be able to get to him in time. He's got Tablet out, and it's going to be all over.
With 35 seconds left, too. Unseen Threat missed the shots.
Oh, go. Oh, no. And Xandria is able to pull it off. He grabs 2 for the Hands of Death.
That's a big win right there. The risk managed to pay off. Moving in and taking the cap, moving it up 3-2, and now they're moving in for the defense. They might just take this map.
Very well could, and I'm glad to see it. There was a lot of celebration that came out there from Xandria after that cap, and it was well earned. He did a great job at being able to clutch that round, and he takes his team into the lead here as we go on to the final objective of this map. So congratulations to him. That cap, well worth it, but again, make sure that in the future you guys are double tapping your kills, because Todd could have very easily have ruined your day with his callouts.
Yeah, for sure. He did fall behind a little bit of rock, so it was a little bit hard to get the shots from the roof. But, yeah, luckily it paid off. And, man, Xandria got welcomed back with open arms in that tent. And, again, like you have said and like I've said, well freaking deserved. Good job, Hands of Death. Is this going to be the last round, though? That
is the question. I mean, technically, it could still be the last round, even if it were Magnificent Bastards win. They are obviously on Marsoc right now, and they could get a cap here. This next objective is the dumpster building. If they get a quick spawn and they're able to get a couple of crucial picks, they could take it very, very quickly. So it's hard to really say, but the Hands of Death, they should know that if they play a tight defense and just wait them out, they should be able to take out a Magnificent and get the round win and the map win.
Yeah, I mean, yep, that's definitely a very possible option. And with that, there the countdown goes, and here we go. I've still been actually very impressed with how this cast has gone. I mean, it's been an exciting one. Even for it being a little bit lower ranked of a team, it's still been very well played by both ends.
And just as I predicted, I'm sorry that I'm a little late to catching that action there. Pupichu able to grab 2 already, so this is exactly what I was talking about. The quick spawn coming into Magnificent Bastard's favor, and now you got Urban, Ghost, and Xandria. What are they doing? They're the only 3 members left, and they are pushing out hard. Todd's going to run into Urban here in any second. Xandria is going to actually kill Urban, and Xandria also going to get Todd, but now he's all alone in there by himself with members of Magnificent Bastard just circling him like a group of sharks in a chum bucket. But Xandria grabs 1, he grabs 2! And Logical didn't even see it. Logical was right across from him. Zero, though.
I mean, a 2v1 now isn't bad.
Wow, Xandria definitely saving it for the Hands of Death there. He really helped Skeptical out by taking out those members of Magnificent Bastards that he did. But man, oh man, was that a risky decision.
No kidding right there, but hey, it evened out the playing field a little bit, but wow, that was a risk. But that's the second time that the Hands of Death have been lined up like that to where 2 could be taken out immediately just because they're standing so close together.
Very, very true.
So, I mean, if anything, that would be one of the biggest notes I would take out for the Hands of Death. Ooh, Skeptical's going to have to be very careful with how he's moving. Almost Skeptical. He has an almost idea of where people might be at. Logical's going to be his most likely pick first.
Oh no, and this is not good. The smokes are going to come in, and Skeptical, ooh, he's going to get a little risky there with that peek. Logical, though, not able to see him, which is fortunate for him. Now we could be seeing the push from Marsoc as they attempt to go for the cap. If I were Skeptical, I'd actually get myself into that room. But unfortunately, it is not in time, and Magnificent going to grab the round, go to their match point as they make it on Volk. So, like Magnificent could be pulling the cat back out of the bag here. Ready for the final round, the match point.
And here we go. It doesn't matter what happens after this. Holy crap, give some shout outs to the whole freaking Pupichu. 10-3 right now. Xandria 9-5. Skeptical 7-3. Just wow. High kills from multiple players.
And ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, of course, we do have the other game going on Onward Master League 2 right now, Phoenix versus G-Men. Phoenix actually taking the first map, Bizarre, 4-0 against G-Men. Complete surprise. But also here in about 15 minutes, maybe in a few additional, we'll be having the Blaze versus Danglers match as well. I'm hoping to get a little bit of a break so I can restroom, take a quick breath of fresh air, and get the old patch reinstalled on my computer, as that is the build that they will be playing on for the Blaze Danglers match.
Yep, for sure. And right now, I mean, we're seeing what's going to happen. I'm excited about that next match. Unfortunately, though, I'm going to be watching it later. I got an improv night to do.
Oh, you answered my very next question. I was just about to ask you in Discord if you were going to join me for the next match, but that's all right. I actually just doing this as a favor for both teams. Obviously, I do play for the Danglers, so I try not to own no Todd. Team killing Poopachu right off the bat, though. Luckily, he's able to get him back up, and it's up back to 5. But yeah, as I was.
Todd. We getting casting.
Todd, we getting casted. That pressure's just getting to you, isn't it, man? Just trigger happy? Oh, man. But yeah, as I was saying, obviously I do play for Dangler, so I typically try not to cast our matches unless I'm co-casting, because, you know, I don't want anyone to think there's any sort of funny business going on or anything like that. Obviously, if I'm casting the main cameras, it's a lot easier to verify that, but I like to make sure that it's okay with both teams before I cast any match that my team is involved with, just out of trying to keep things on the level. So, but they did ask, both teams did ask. Unfortunately, I was hoping that Noman from Blaze would actually join me, as he's one of our newer casters and also a player for the team. And then 2 casters from the 2 teams could join each other on the casting desk while their teams battled it out, but that's not going to happen.
Oh man, right now though, still a 5v5. Urban Ghost has a good potential on trying to maybe take someone out from the mid hotel. Xandria though, taking out Zero right off the bat. And that's a great move to start moving this momentum to take the map.
Oh, and he has got great positioning actually in the south. Oh, gracious. I'm so sorry, audience. I promise you I won't let that overlay get the best of me tonight.
And you wonder why they left.
No, it's just that one round earlier in this one that I did it. I've been pretty good about it.
You have been. It's improved a lot since a couple seasons ago, for sure. When Nightfire would do it like once a match, multiple times a match. I still do it. Xandria goes running up.
Actually could cap this right here on them, but no unseen threat's going to see him through the window. No, he's not! Oh, Xandria.
They're going to come.
Xandria. Please go cap that. Go cap that! Oh my god, Xandria, you're killing me!
Didn't see Xandria moving. He's being very cautious about this. Now unseen threats moving in and around.
Oh!
The shots!
And that is very unfortunate, Xandria. I think Xandria should have just went for the cap. I don't... Ooh, man, that was super close. Gotta give it to you there, Xandria. That was a great play, a great push overall, but unfortunately I think you just waited it out a little too long and you gave Unseen Threat the peeker's advantage there as he came around the corner.
Yep, that definitely was the case. I mean, Todd right now and a couple others are being a little bit out in the open. But, I mean, it's still a 4v4, still 3 minutes left. A lot of game to play. Now Urban Ghost is going to start moving in, seeing if he can make an impact on this.
Urban Ghost and Todd just meters from each other. Todd hears him, but he's not going to see anything. Now he does, and he's going to pick up Urban Ghost. And Magnificent Bastards are going to be up 4-3 here in the second round, or in the final round. As Hands of Death are going to have a handful to work with as they make their way to the objective. There goes one of them. So now it's only 2 members of Hand of Death. Logical landing a nice headshot on the ban from the Viper's brothel building, whatever you happen to call that building there in the western side.
Yeah, just call it what you want, guys. Everyone has their different names for it. But Logical taking out Mr. Jacob, and now it's a 1v4. And it looks like, yeah, Magnificent are just going to be cleaning up right now and pretty much securing this map win.
Yeah, it will be very unlikely that Mr. Jacob is, or I'm sorry, that Skeptical is able to get the kills needed to get this round for his team, but can happen. However, it will be, I'm going to give it about a 10% chance just simply because of his positioning. He's got nothing but wide open spaces to have to go through in order to be able to get to the objective, and I think Logical's actually going to see him there with a nice move going direct prone there after the shots come in from Logical.
Yeah, we'll have to see what ends up happening. Minute 15 left, not a lot of time. And taken out, flying through the air, Poopachu securing that final kill, moving up 11-3, Xandria 10-6. That could have been another cap, moving it up 5-3 right there. That would have been cool to see, but Magnificent take it, and that's the match.
That is right. That will be our match here, or at least the first match. As you can see from the title, this is going to be a doubleheader game.
What?
Basically, we have got one more coming to you here in about 10 or 15 minutes. We're going to go to a brief intermission, but if you'd like to keep the Onward action going, head on over to twitch.tv/Onward Master League 2, where Nightfire and Buxton are still casting the G-Men versus Phoenix match. And then come on back, as we'll have Danglers versus Blaze here in, like I said, about 10 or 15 minutes. So I want to say thank you to both teams and to all the members out there watching. And we're going to go into a brief intermission here while we get switched over, and we'll be back momentarily. Thank you very much,
Thanks,
everybody.
guys. Have a good one.